Hi, it's Janet Miller of A Spirited Path. And I'm just plugging something in. I thought I had it already and it's not ready yet. So let me just see. And I'm going to just adjust this down a bit. Okay. It's Janet Miller of A Spirited Path. And with the energies that are here for this week of June 24th, this is these are backwards, but anyways, it's the Galactic Heritage cards for this week. And I had 5 fallout, 5. So the first part was calling our parts home. And calling our parts home is a card from Sirius. And the cards from Sirius actually relate to the energies that the Syrians went through when they did the same type of transition that we're doing, which is moving from third dimension to fourth dimension to fifth dimension. And they went through the same type of growing pains that we did. So what's happening is that, as we know, a lot of things are being disrupted. Political systems, especially political systems, health systems, there's a lot of atrocities being seen and showing up. So what's happening is that calling our parts home with the Syrian energies, and I'm going to read a little bit out of the book here because there's still so much to go with. We are becoming an awakened species, and it means that as we become awake, we realize that if we start to talk about the atrocities and the challenges that are happening, we are then contributing to the issue. And we have to learn to take action. And taking action can be very challenging for a lot of us because it means that we have to move out of our proverbial comfort zone. Moving out of our comfort zone takes great faith and trust in the issues that are there and even ourselves for bringing things to completion. This is a very healing card. If it shows in your reading, there may be many messages. It could be the fact that there's some Syrians working directly with you, with us. And the strongest message is it's time to embrace those parts of yourselves that you would wish to keep separate. And that's where we're joining the positive aspects of ourselves and the past aspects of ourselves that are joining them together. So that's what we mean about calling our parts home. It's embracing basically the light and the dark and creating the unity that needs to be felt with there. Second card, very appropriate, was embracing transition. And again, it's a Syrian card, which is the present energy. Embracing transition is, are you comfortable with change? If you're not, get ready because change is going to happen. And it means that you also have to be aware of, as you change, then this can make it uncomfortable for some other people around you. And it also means that you have to look at your living environment. It means what you're accepting in your life, what you're not accepting in your life. And it's all about embracing it. And it's really scary to let go of our old beliefs and the beliefs about relationships, about marriage, about schooling, about everything. Everything has to change if we're going to be moving ourselves from the third dimensional energy, which we are now, and we're still living here. We're sort of migrating into the fourth dimensional energy. And at sometimes we're hitting fifth. We're not quite there yet. We've still got quite a few years to go, but this is what happens. The next card came up was the hive card. Now, the hive card is an insectoid species. And a lot of times, what I see is parallel, and parallel means this is where we're also looking at the fact that if you're going to look at time factors, there's more than one time happening here. Again, it brings me back to the movie called Arrival. If anybody saw Arrival in 2016, it was a great movie because a lot of people didn't quite understand it. I loved it because, as they said, there is no time. This is why if you're present, there's always things that are past and present and future and happening and everything else like that, because it's all happening in one. We're just not actually visualizing seeing it right now. So when you feel that there's something that you need to see or you have a vision, that's because there's a reality where it's actually happening. Kind of hard for some people to understand that, but also it has to do with the past, where we keep remembering things that may have happened in the past. And in a sense, they are happening as we speak. But it also means that if we had some uncomfortable occurrences in the past, it's a matter of looking at them differently from a detached point of view rather than being embroiled in them. Okay. Now, the other one, this one is where I'm always having issues with. It's just, and I think a lot of us do. It's the self-discipline, which is Vega. And it's, again, present energy. Self-discipline, as we know, it doesn't mean that you have to be hard on yourself, but I think you have to be cognizant of some of your habits that you have on a regular basis. And it could be, sitting down after you've had dinner, watching TV or whatever. It could be that you go out for a walk. It could be that you do something, or that you're very, 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 very busy and you don't give yourself time. That is self-discipline in a different aspect, because so many of us are overachievers, overscheduled with things. So then we sit down, it takes us a while to just kind of go, oh, what do I do with myself? I feel guilty not doing anything. And it can get challenging to be able to go within and make yourself do nothing. I still have issues with this. And so I've got to not feel guilty about taking longer in my meditations than I would think I should. And this is where it can get challenging with the self-discipline. Self-discipline is also when you want to try to add a new habit into your life. Just do it gradually. Just do it gradually. And that's where we humans judge ourselves according to somebody else. You can't judge yourself according to somebody else. And then even judging yourself, whether it's right or wrong, you can't, it's not what we need to do. We need to be able to be more present and go, this is the best that I can do. A belief that I often help people with is, I'm the best I can be at each moment. And my best is good enough. So many of us beat ourselves up thinking it's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. And I just saw something on the internet today where a teacher was writing out the times tables to her students. And in the very first multiplication problem, she put the wrong answer. And yet every other one, as she went down to the bottom, was right. And she turned around and she said, I know you guys want to tell me something. And I said, I just want you to think about something. And it made perfect sense. What she said was, everybody was willing, out of the 10 examples that I had on the board, to tell me which one was wrong. Nobody complimented me on the 9 ones that were right. So that's where you have to think to yourself, do you compliment yourself on the things that you do right during the day, or do you constantly berate yourself for the things that you didn't do? Is there a balance there? That's what comes to self-discipline, is catch yourself in those thoughts. Don't necessarily say erase, just go, stop. I'm doing the best I can at this moment. And if you really are doing the best that you can, then you're great with your self-discipline. The next one is Earth, and it's graduation. Graduation is all about moving to the next level. And we have to It says Earth history has been fraught with struggles, hatred, and fear. And the underlying process was to serve as a training species for the evolution of our species. And it hasn't been easy, but you have to trust that Earth is going through this and it's going to be okay. I know there's a lot of naysayers out there. I know there's a lot of doomsday people out there. But we can make a difference. We are making a difference. And especially with the environment, I know there's a lot of people that are pushing this stuff, but I'm also seeing that there is a lot of things that are happening. There's new inventions that are helping us clean up our oceans. There's new things that are happening, and we have more petitions going on than ever before. And things can be, we can make a difference. This is where the hive mentality loops back in, going, as a collective, we can make a difference. If every single person in a town, just for instance, stopped buying plastic water bottles, that would make a huge difference. If everybody started watching how much plastic they were actually using in their daily routines, that would make a huge difference. I finally used this last shampoo of my shampoo bottle, and I went up to the bulk store and I bought a soap that was a bar of soap without any packaging that is for shampoo and conditioner. I tried it, and now it's supposed to be for camping and whatever else. There's no plastic packaging on it. It was a $2.10 bar of soap. It's a hard soap. It's from a soap company. That's all they've been doing for years, is doing this business. It doesn't cost a lot, but it makes me look at how much plastic I have. So this is the graduation series that we're going through. If we start to become cognizant of what it is that we're doing, and we start to make a plan and say, okay, we can graduate to the next level. I'm no longer going to do this, or I'm no longer going to do that. It'll make a huge difference. Despite the chaos you may see on Earth at this time, know that it is leading towards the shift, and we know it's leading towards the shift. Continue your personal work. It's very important. For years, when I started this journey 25, 30 years ago with regards to the Earth and the plastics and whatever, I was a follower of David Suzuki and still am for years. Didn't realize how much plastic I had in my home, but now that I do, I'm using less and less. I don't use the small plastic baggies in the grocery store. I bring my own. I've made my own shopping bags. I'm doing now and trying to do my best to use glass containers. Everything that I can to stop using the plastic. So that's a shift. That's a graduation. And the same thing with getting out of meat and reducing the amount of meat that you eat and things like that. It's just amazing what's happening. So continue your personal work and encourage those that you know to do so as well. So these are the 5 cards, okay, that we had today for this month, for this week, okay? Now, these are not a straight line. This is what I've talked about on my Facebook, on my website. These are not a straight line. So what we have is it's most cards that are drawn are usually about in a certain position. This means this, in another position this means this. Not so. Not with these cards, because there is no time. It doesn't matter where they are. It's a flow and it's circular, and this is what's happening. So these are the galactic heritage energies that are happening now for me and for others, because I usually draw the cards for me, but I know it's affecting others as well because I'm part of the collective. So these are the cards that are happening right now. I know that my galactic influences have changed as I've been shedding a lot more of different things. And I have I put the information on my website, like I've said before. So if you would like a Galactic Heritage card reading to see what galactic energies you are working with, please go to my website at www.aspiritedpath.ca and book yourself a reading. I'd love to see what comes up for you. And I'll also, when at the end of it, I will send you a picture. I'll take a picture on my phone and I'll send it to you, and any other information that comes up during after the reading that happens. So with that, these are the galactic energies for the week of June 26th, 2019, 24th. Oh, sorry, I'm ahead of myself. 2019.